Listen, I don't know about you, but I started a business so I could do this. Travel, be with friends, be with family, create memories. I didn't do it to sit at the computer all day. I didn't do it so that I could just be in countless emails and Zoom meetings. I did it to create opportunities for myself and opportunities for others. So listen, if that's something that interests you, enjoying time with your friends, being out and about, definitely drop by Erica Williams' Classy Climb blog. Check out the YouTube channel. We've got over 2,000 videos of free information that's actually changed people's lives. People actually post their new jobs, their new careers, their new businesses all the time over at the channel. What's up, everybody? Ooh, this kale and spinach. It's not hitting right. It's not hitting right. What's good, you guys? It's a happy Monday to you. I know Mondays can be stressful. Drop that city and state in the chat. You see the 3 links in there. Of course, it's going to be our 5-day challenge is in there. Digital Liberty Warriors. Yes, Digital Liberty Warriors. We have it's going to switch to bi-monthly, like once every 2 weeks eventually. Q&A's in there. We're going to have a lot of stuff going on. The next 90 days are kind of crazy, kind of hectic. A lot of podcasts, a lot of marketing, and so on. And enjoying the summer. I don't think y'all know what I'm going to be doing this summer, but I'm going to be enjoying myself. So definitely check out these opportunities while they last. Again, as we do a major pivot on this channel, and that's coming. So it is what it is. Financial 5-year trends, be owner millionaires, and lost 40K on Instagram. So this one, I struggled with the title for this show because it was all over the place. I ain't even gonna front on you. But I have several things I want to show you that I think are helpful. Okay, so let's do what it do. Let's get into it. Now, there's a clip I want to show y'all, just because I like messing. I like messing with y'all. Y'all know I like being petty. I do. I just got to show this. This is the start off. We're gonna start off with some silly first. Let's get into it.
And they get on there and they say they're making their stuff from scratch, and which I appreciate a nice meal from scratch. Don't get me wrong. I like to cook meals from scratch too. And ain't nothing wrong with getting in the kitchen. But they were selling this idea of being a trad wife online. A lot of influencers or content creators, especially on TikTok, it was really big, right? Probably still is. Everybody kept calling them trad wives, but I see them as what they are. They're business women. Things even got so crazy, the news started reporting about how the trad wife and soft life was a big deal. The title...
First of all, I love how she decorates her locks, or I don't know what the definition of these are. Feel free to correct me. I am not a black girl hair expert. My sister owns a salon, but I am not. I'm the sister that just I got curls, wash and go. So I love this decoration she does for her hair. I just want to, again, the soft life, they call them the lazy girl glow up and all this stuff. I really want y'all to understand, women were never meant to work like men. I don't know who's convinced y'all of this, but I also want to address the big elephant in the room. Many of y'all uncles and dads could not be the men they are if it wasn't for their wife helping them finish assignments, finish promotions, have the kids out of their hair. I know many people's uncles who had construction businesses, and all the uncle did is show up and in the afternoons drink beer. It's the wife who did all the paperwork. So this kind of ideal in America that, we just had women stay at home and they never did any real involvement in their family's business or life is comical, right? I have family members who own daycares. They always been the big money aunt. You know what I'm saying? It's just like we have family members in nursing. They've always made more money than their husbands. And it really wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing. It's this new internet where, and I'm going to say it, where some of y'all are growing up, not just single parent homes, but isolated from others in community. Right? There's nothing wrong with y'all growing up in single parent homes. Let me be very clear. I know y'all think I'll bash on that, but when y'all are so isolated that y'all can't recognize that partnerships work and they're flexible, they're not rigid. They won't work if they're rigid, right? People don't stay together 20, 30, 40 years if one person's absolutely rigid and there's no flexibility to the partnership. So when you see Candace Owens, you see a lot of these people online, these are business women. These are business women who are working to make it work for their family. So at some point, by the time they get around 40, which Candace Owens don't go past that, but so by the time they get 40, they can sit back and chill, right? I literally have black and white friends who are around 40-ish, and these are old women older than me, ahead of me at the time. They started chilling. They started pulling back from work, working 2 to 3 days a week. Oh, they only work at the school their child goes to. Oh, my wife don't work no more. She manages our rental properties. Well, how many you got? 3. So she quit her job for that? I mean, y'all have to do the math on something sometimes. If your aunt and uncle own 3 duplexes, that extra $4,000 a month, what y'all aunt need to go to work for? See, this is the conversations we really ain't having. And so I don't have a problem with single parent children. I just have a problem when I talk to grown adults who like, my mama worked 2, 3 jobs and struggled. And then I talk to men whose moms didn't really work at all. And they were a single parent mom. They're like, my mom was lazy. And I'm like, was your mom lazy? Or was she wore out from the fact that she was raising kids by herself in the 80s and 90s? You know what I'm saying? You have to be careful on this. You know what I mean? Because we have a distant cousin. I guess they call them our second cousins. Their grandmama, when her husband died, she never worked another day in her life. And Black people call her lazy forever, but her house was paid for, her farm was paid for, her kids all had good lives. She never worked another day in her life after that man died. They were in a car accident, and they never, between the car accident money and the house was paid off and the taxes were paid, and they had chickens and they was doing stuff, they were straight. And she was more in the city than her other family. So, you know what I mean? They're distant cousins, but that's why I laugh when people talk about soft life. I'm like, some of y'all just have not been exposed to real people, and it's unfortunate. So let me finish this out and go into the next, because I got a lot of slides today. So I ain't gonna try to hold it.
Of this CNBC article reads, The Rise of the Trad Wife, Why Some Women Say They Are Opting Out of Work. If TikTok is any guide, more women are taking a traditional approach to romantic partnerships. Some even say they are opting out of the workforce entirely in favor of the so-called soft life, centered around their home, their family, and their own well-being. Re-enter the trad wife, one of social media's growing trends. And it goes on to say, the thing about trad wives is it feels very different. It is an escape from a lot of people's reality. Experts say it's a facade. Evidence shows that this is something few women are actually doing. And a member of CNBC's Financial Advisor Council advises her female clients to consider that they, at some point in their life, are going to be solely responsible for making financial decisions. And I love some stats. So it says staying at home also necessitates a degree of privilege that few very young adults have these days. In reality, most people are living paycheck to paycheck, which we already know because most people don't even have $1,000 for an emergency. But I digress. More than 3/4, or 78% of millennials in the US are in a dual career couple, compared with baby boomers at 47%, according to Berkeley Haas Center for Equality, Gender, and Leadership. 2 partners working full-time is increasingly necessary to achieve the American dream. The culture around the time that a lot of people aspire to.
Okay, yeah, I just want to share that clip. I do be petty on here, but I do also want y'all to realize, like, people are selling y'all, a dream. And if you aren't moving around, you ain't talking to different people. Like, I tell you, these young people come online, they loud and wrong. Like, this guy's like, my grandma grew up in California. She didn't have no garden. And I'm like, everywhere you go, baby, there's like aunties and people having lemon trees in their backyard and tomato plants hanging off stuff. Like, just because your grandma lived in a tiny apartment and didn't grow no veggies, don't mean other neighbors didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these young people, and his last name was from Louisiana. So I'm like, baby, your people only got to California about 40 years ago. So let's stop acting like your people before they got to California weren't working in some farms or around a farm. So let's knock it off. Like, I really, and I love reading people sometimes because it embarrasses them, but I don't do it to embarrass them. I'm doing it to, like, think about what you're saying. You're coming off very loud, very wrong, very, very unfortunate. So let me keep it pushing. Okay, let me show y'all this. And I've been on an I quit Instagram kick for a minute. Now, let me show y'all. First thing before I share that, a lot of y'all like, why won't the prices in commercial real estate go down? Let me show you why. Let me let Ben Molly use this great example, and then I'm going to explain it. Because y'all are like, yeah, these prices, they're going to crash. Yeah. Like, all right, sure, if you say so.
$25,000 a month. That's $300.
That's on fast mode. I apologize. Let me go back a little bit. Here we go.
Get a property. It's got 5 units. Each unit's paying $5,000 a month. You collect $25,000 a month. That's $300,000 a year. Even at a 10 cap, that's $3 million. Now, the same shopping center's got 2 vacancies. You only collected $15,000 a month. A month's $180,000 a year. At a 10 cap, it's only worth $1.8 million. You got to buy it for $1.8 million. You got to rent out those spaces, and then you're going to make yourself $1.2 million. Simple. Now go out and do it.
Okay, now that was fast. You're probably like, wait a minute, whoa. And I just want to show it to you. I'll show it to you again. What people don't understand is you cannot time the market. Let me be very clear. You cannot time the market. Okay. And I'm trying to tell you about two people who are millionaires, and I'm gonna go there for a second. There are 3 stock people who are multi-millionaires that I know personally, met them in person, lunches, dinners, and their mentor is a real estate person. Their mentor is a wealthier than them real estate person, right? You know, there's 1 or 2 online, I can point them out, and even their mentor is a real estate person. This is part of what inspired me to write the book, which is kind of wearing me out. Finished me to do this last little hump, this last launch, so I can share it with all you guys. But I really want you to understand, when you really start getting in these rooms and you start listening, the people who are big on social media, big over here, big in e-commerce, their mentor is a real estate person. Because y'all are out here trying to time the market. E-com people, YouTube, Instagram, all these people, y'all are hopping on different trends. The real estate people gonna keep buying every year. The 2 real estate people I know in particular who were like, I was wrong. And they tell us, like, I was wrong. I go, what happened? I stopped buying in 2018 because I said these numbers don't make sense. And so the lady was telling us, oh, I quit buying in 2018 because the numbers didn't make sense. And then I look up in 2022 and I'm like, oh, these numbers ain't dropping. This is here to stay. And this woman is highly intelligent. She has millions of stock market money. She has multiple investments. She has multiple rentals all over the East Coast, but she quit buying because the numbers on her calculation said don't buy. Well, 4 years later, she's like, I was wrong. And she just started back buying where she was buying it. She was saying, you can't, even she said you can't time the market, right? The man that was on the other end of this, who's lost apartment buildings here in Texas, he was like, I'm still buying. Because at some point, you know, it's almost like people think they can time the market, and that's when they lose. So when he's talking about these plazas, like you're going to New York, you're going to cities, you're like, why are these plazas, these places still expensive? Because the owners of these businesses don't want to lose. They rather sit 2-3 years and let the market have shifts and then see if somebody come along and come rent it, right? It just messes up with these REITs. It messes up with their capstone. But I'm playing one more time, and then I'm gonna get on out of here to that. But I just want to show this quick snippet for commercial.
Units paying $5,000 a month. You collect the
that's them an auction.
If you look at a property, it's got 5 units. Each unit's paying $5,000 a month. You collect $25,000 a month. That's $300,000 a year. Even at a 10 cap, that's $3 million. Now, the same shopping center's got 2 vacancies. You only collected $15,000 a month. A month's $180,000 a year. At a 10 cap, it's only worth $1.8 million. You got to buy it for $1.8 million. You got to rent out those spaces, and then you're going to make yourself $1.2 million. Simple. Now go out and do it. And if you have questions about doing it, go to vinmel.com.
All right. So if you ever see a plaza get bought over and then they start painting and cleaning it up, you're like, oh, what they gonna do with that plaza? They just trying to get their money out of the plaza. That's all they're trying to do. They're trying to get their money out the plaza. Okay, now let me show you one more silly. We got to go one more silly, because when I saw this, I was like, I'm telling y'all, there's agents out here. He's a prime example of an agent. There's somebody that y'all love online, but I'm gonna leave him alone. He's showing enough agent.
48 years of age. Jim Jones was born in 1977. At this point, I am convinced that Jim Jones is a CIA agent. Not only does the CIA want to get to the youth by influencing them to be nefarious and to get felonies to where they can never enter a proper job market, Jim Jones wants to complete the mission. Jim Jones wants to make sure that niggas his age never grow up.
Buying new Kellys every year, cause that's
48 years of age. Jim Jones was born in 1977. At this point, I am convinced that Jim Jones is a...
Now listen, who do you know this guy is? This guy is Brandon Jamal, the diaper boy, running around diapers. That's why you're a single mom. And he is what you're witnessing with Brandon Jamal, which he realizes it slowly. And the manosphere and other people are realizing he's waking up. He is waking up. He, as a man in his mid-30s, has a stuttering condition. He has problems with his mom. He was watching his sister. His sister had drug and jail issues. So he watched his daughter, his niece, for over 2 years while his sister went out through court, basically. None of his siblings want to watch the kid who have kids. None of his other family want to take this kid. He took this kid in. And the incident with his sister and him watching this kid whose father also did not step up, and he was just the younger uncle, younger brother, stepping up, made him into this angry man of like, that's why you're single, mom. And he's doing the dances on the car and the diapers. And now he's waking up. If you watch a lot more of his content, which I try not to, but y'all send me clips, I get, this is a black man waking up. This is a young brother who's like, wait a minute. I'm not really mad at single moms. I'm mad at my mom. I'm mad at my siblings for not helping my sister while she was in jail, who had a little daughter who I had to watch for 2 years while I was working as a server. Why is a young man working as a server in his 20s? I'm not trying to be disrespectful. If you know somebody in your family, they're a server just because they live in a resort town or tourist town, but a young man in his 20s could have went in the military. And the way he stutters and has issues, I'm just going to be honest, our family would have made sure he went in the military. They're like, yeah, we got to get him going out the door right now. Sign the paperwork for him, push him through the door. Because there's some people who need structure. And when you come from a very dysfunctional family, if you let some of these social media people sit out here long enough and they talk and they get past that 15 minutes of fame, you say, oh, that's what's wrong with him. His mom, and then his siblings, and then his sister. Oh, that's why you upset. You're not mad at single moms. You're mad at your family because of the dysfunction, right? There's a girl who like was ripping on Texas, how horrible Texas was. Look, to come to find out, her daddy was sorry. He was in the military. Her mom was in the military. She comes out here. She got a whole husband and a daughter. And she comes to Texas. She's 45 minutes around the corner from her dad in Dallas. He ghosted her. Her husband had to be, 31-year-old husband's like, my wife really needs her father. You need to step up and be a father. You know, life is hard enough. You need to be a father. Why are 31-year-old grown people begging a grown man to be somebody's father? This is where y'all don't understand, like, that people come out here in this space and say, oh, I hate Texas. Texas is so bad. It's so horrible. And you really get to the bottom and you go, sister, you was upset with your daddy. Your daddy ghosted you. Then if your grown husband had to beg the man to come back in your life because you're crying every day about him, then he'd stick around for a month and then he go right back to what he's doing. And her daddy wants some bum. He was a black man married to another woman with more kids. See, that's the thing. Y'all got these stories out here. And the reason I bring them up is there's going to be a lot of money made off of the therapy in these communities. Okay. There's going to be money made off therapy. Heavy, y'all. Jim Jones was born in the 1900s. Several of y'all born in 1900s watching this show. Okay. We'll play it one more time. I'm going to get out of here.
CIA agent. Not only does the CIA want to get to the youth by influencing them to be nefarious and to get felonies to where they can never enter a proper job market, Jim Jones wants to complete the mission. Jim Jones wants to make sure that niggas his age never grow up.
So yeah, y'all can look more into that on your own time. I just had to share it with y'all. Let me go back to serious for, the CIA come get me. Listen, I ain't gonna mess with you. Listen, I'm not gonna get deep into the music. I'm just saying the optics. The optics are terrible. Optics are terrible. This is a good one also from this young man.
Entrepreneurship is super difficult because you go through these times where you feel like you've got no friends and you've got no similar interests to people around you. Because what you realize is in order for you to hit these goals and to become the person that deserves what you want, you have to grow into a new individual, which means that in order to elevate, you have to separate. So you have to leave behind a lot of the old people that aren't conducive to your growth, that aren't growing into the same thing that you care about, that don't have the same values as you, that aren't growing at the same velocity of you. And then you end up these weird spots where you don't really have any friends, you don't have any similarities with people, and then you're going to start to meet some new people. But in between these growth periods, it gets really lonely and it's really difficult and not many people talk about it. We should normalize the lonely phases of entrepreneurship because I can tell you almost every entrepreneur deals with it.
Okay. I hope y'all heard that. If I have to play it again, I will. But I want you to understand that this is 190-93% true, right? I've had several growth points and changes over the 10 years. Like when I first came to Texas, I had this huge group of friends, people I was hanging out with and dancing with. As long as we were all working jobs that we were complaining about, it was all Gucci. As I started to develop a business, and then also I had a friend who had a dentist office, and a friend who had an eye doctor office, and then a friend who had a medical practice, we increasingly became more isolated from the groups. And it's because we were growing businesses, and when we would complain about staff or people, you're in a different conversation now, right? The same thing that happened in church. You have these big student groups, and then people start getting married. The married people start separating away because now they're in a different type of status. It's the same thing. I can apply it for multiple things, but when it came to entrepreneurship, when I first came to Austin, I was kind of in a hustler, steady, busy. One of my cars got an accident. All this stuff was happening to me. I was kind of in a scrappy mode. So when people met me, they're like, okay, that's where I place her in my mind. Well, then that same girl makes $500,000 the next year. And now you have nothing related to her. Now, sometimes I can say some of it's whiteness, some of it's blackness, some of it's just a combination. Like people put you in their mind in a category. And if you break out of that category, people are like, what are you doing? Like, I remember I changed my whole wardrobe one year. I just kept wearing dresses every day. And they're like, where are you going? What are you doing? Because I was around a bunch of girls, all we wore is jeans all the time, jeans and t-shirts, right? And I just was like, I just want to wear a dress. And so it's the small things that lead to the big things. And it sounds silly, but it's little things like this. And this is why you'll see people, they may know better. They may hate Sexy Red, but all their friends listen to Sexy Red, so now they got to listen to Sexy Red, right? It's a group effect. Group think is a big thing. You know, Erykah Badu every couple of years changes drastically, and people be like, "What is she on? She on some weird stuff." No, that's actually how you're supposed to grow through life. At some point, you're not supposed to be 1994, you know, forever. You're not supposed to be 2001 Neo Soul Jill Scott and Erykah Badu forever. Even though that was some of the best era of music ever, I'm going to go see Bilal this upcoming week. And our friends are going to see him in Dallas. Like Bilal quit music almost because the way they were treating him. It's because these artists get into these systems and realize, oh, this ain't about you. We'll just replace you with somebody else. We don't care about your music. We don't care about nothing about you. It's about getting a check. Okay? So what happens is, the more you focus on a area, the lonelier it gets. That's why these groups make a lot of money. Grant Cardone makes a lot of money. Apex, Entourage makes a lot of money. Because what happens is you'll start getting into these offices. And you'll, if they'll have a group, that's part of why I'm doing the inner circle this year anyway, too. But you'll get into a group of people, and we're all working on business in general. And the conversation is absolutely different and much smoother. Right? When you're talking about going on boats, you're talking about going on trips, you're talking about a ski resort, you're talking about stuff. There's a whole group for millionaires called Go Abundance. Then they have the Go Abundance for families and Go Abundance for women. There's countless groups I could name and show y'all on here that open up, right? But the part that people don't speak on is, I'm telling y'all, I know 2 or 3 stock people that are multimillionaires from stock, and they're getting their advice from a real estate person. They're getting their mentorship from a real estate person. Because they've been to a level that many of these people online haven't been to. And so when you move around, you get what I'm saying. You may not get it today. You may not be like, Erykah, I don't get what Erykah's talking about today. And that's okay. But when y'all really start applying yourself for some of the stuff y'all want to do, y'all going to be like, damn, nobody want to hang out? Look, you quit your job and now nobody want to hang out? Nobody want to have lunch because they don't want to be reminded that you completely elevated and changed your life. They don't want that to be in their face. They don't want to be reminded of that. Oh no, you've been able to win. No, they don't want to be reminded of that. That hurts their feelings. That hurts their fifis. They don't want to see that. So let me show y'all. Like 4 or 5 things real quick. Let me show y'all about the honeybees. And again, I told y'all one of the trends you'll see in the coming years is farmers and new farm people are going to make some money. They questioned Jim Jones on the Joe Budden podcast. He probably, what's dressing my age, a wax suit. Let me tell you, the number one sign of a black man I'll make a B motion and move away from is if he's dressing like 10 years too young. Immediately, if I see a black man with, depending on how you look with the cornrows and the hair, I start turning. I'll be lying out there. Erykah, you can't judge people by how they dress. This is true. You're not supposed to, but we do. When I'm at the golf course, I see black people all the time. I see them all the time. I speak to them. Hey, how you doing? All the time. I'm just telling y'all, every 10 years, you should be elevating. There should be components. They don't have to be your whole wardrobe. It should be pieces that you add that are better quality, and you slightly change your wardrobe. Like I gotta slightly change. I just been throwing away stuff a bunch because it's like, oh, I see 1994 Negroes with gold hair and nails, super 6-inch nails. I get out the way. I get out the way so fast it don't make no sense. I start dodging. I start running away. I get to the car. Where the car at? I gotta get out of here. I beeline. Y'all think I'm joking? I get up out the way. Out the way. I'm being honest. And this is not even about crime or nothing. Like I don't even want to talk to you. I don't even think we have nothing to talk about. Erica, that's judging. It is. But I'm good. I live with it. Let me show you this. This is for the bees. Let me get, because y'all gonna be like, Erica, that's disrespectful. I just want y'all to understand, we in society dress in trends and things we inhabit in our head that think is normal. There are women in Austin that only walk around in tennis outfits. What are they trying to tell you? I got some money. My husband makes some money. I stay at the tennis court. What you talking about? They don't know what you're talking about. What is playing in my background? Hold on. Okay, I see what it is. Boom, boom, boom. Let me get to here. I apologize, y'all. You know, they should be more organized by the time I get on here, but they ain't. They just ain't. Okay, here we go.
And this. Absolutely devastating. In the last 90 days, the United States has seen historic losses of honeybee colonies. Here we see over the last 8 months, 1.12 million beehives, 68% of all the bees in the United States are dead. And then right below that, the 12-month total estimate is over 80% of all bees lost. Hopefully this works. The ABF and the AHPA teamed up to send a letter to the Secretary of Agriculture, which, wild fact in here, combined losses over the last 12 months, 70 to 100%. That is insane. But anyways, it's written to the Secretary of Agriculture, hopefully to shed light on the fact that this is literally historic losses and to demand some aid and relief and funding to bounce back from this. There's actually been a response to that letter that I just found. The USDA is experiencing government cuts. And so now the University of Cornell is getting involved. And here's one of their first responses. Based on early numbers that are coming in, it's suggestive that this will be the biggest loss of honeybee colonies in U.S. history. Catastrophic losses. So Cornell's hopping in to help with the research side and studies and see what happened. I think we're still leaning towards the side of overexposure to pesticide and neonicotinoid on monoculture pollination, and then maybe overexposure to harsh chemicals with mite treatments. I think the end-all be-all goal is to move towards treatment-free beekeeping, but that has to entirely do with genetics, and we're so far from that that's not even a topic of conversation right now, I don't think. But moving towards organic compounds for mite treatments, I think is a step in the right direction, but lots to work on here. This is what over $1 million in dead honeybee colonies looks like. And this. Absolutely devastating. In the last 90 days, the United States has seen historic losses of honeybee colonies.
Now, there's a lot I can say. Now, losses by scale, 50% were hobby. Sideliners lost, hobby farms lost 50%. Sideliners lost 54%. Big company ones lost 62%. I just want y'all to understand, yes, pesticides are a big problem. Pesticides are a big problem. Bees are why you have fruit. Bees are why you have any fruit, any food, any vegetables in America. America is one of those places overwhelmingly dependent on bee culture. And I just want you to understand, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? It's not about honey never spoiling, right? It's about the bees pollinating and cross-pollinating plants. And so when you keep having GMO seeds and certain farms overspraying, you will have problems. So what are they going to do? They're going to have to run around to all these smaller homesteads and hobby farms to get the bee population back up, which means anybody who had a hobby farm right now, all these actors, I remember Oprah and Bill Gates have honeybee farms, and it's just a tax write-off. You can literally go get $1 million at 1% from the USDA for your farm. Not necessarily USDA, I would say from the agricultural, which I'll go over in Land Grab 2025, which is one of the upsells from the book sale. You'll see it, but it'll be out later this week or whatever. But essentially, I talk about how essentially the government's like, hey, are you under 35? Are you a woman? Are you a minority? Are you a white guy? Shit, do you want a farm? Here's $1 million at 1% interest. And so you're going to see, like when people say, what are the trends? You're going to see a lot of people get money from the government. And part of their strategy is going to be a homestead with mixed vegetables, mixed fruits, mixed vegetables, and bees. It's going to be a big thing. It's going to be very strategic. Watch out for it. And this summer, when they're like, oh, we didn't have Hispanics to pick the fruit. No, it won't be that. It won't be that. It'll be the bees. It'll be the bees. So I just always tell people, like, pay attention. You're going to have a lot of wealthy farmers, like that guy that talked about it years ago, that farmer's going to be driving Lamborghinis. I laugh about it. People laughed at him, but he was right. You're going to have a level of the wealthy, the top tier people. They're going to have a farm they talk to. Right now, I have a farm directly I'm buying all my chicken and meats from. I already got it. Right? I already got it. I'm already locked in because I already know the math on it. Like, I don't even want to I don't even want to go to the grocery store. I love HEB. I only want to go for certain parts. And unfortunately, some of those stuff is processed stuff. But as far as the big meats and chickens, no, I don't even want to get it from the grocery store no more. No, thank you. You know what I mean? So we can touch on this another day, but yeah. They're needed for painkillers. Man, bees do a million things. There's a whole thing on bees. Yeah. It's not that we're not worried about the honey. We were about what the job of the bees do in America. So let me get off here. Let me get out of here. I'm gonna go research that on your own time. I'm gonna leave y'all alone. But you'll notice that. Also, here's 7 things you should never share at work. I saw this and it cracked me up that we have to actually put this out for people. But apparently we do. Y'all be at work doing too much. Here we go.
Lose my mind. Up in here, up.
Wait, I want to get a copyright strike. You shouldn't be sharing. Oh man, she got her stuff all over it. You shouldn't share your opinions about management. You shouldn't be sharing your personal issues. You shouldn't be sharing private information about past employees. Your current employees won't trust you. You shouldn't be talking about future job search plans. Don't be telling your coworkers you're job hunting. It could cost you your current job. Workplace gossip. Don't do it. Medical and family issues. Some workplaces use personal struggles against you when it comes to firing and hiring. Okay? Again, a lot of y'all, it's not necessary for your job. Keep it to yourself. Do y'all understand that? Is that, are we have lost people on that? You know what I'm saying? I just think y'all, I don't know what y'all, yeah, Jim Rogers. Yeah. Do we need to we have to put this out here? We have to tell people common sense, stop talking to your coworkers. They're not your friends. Y'all all this there to go to work and get a check. Austin's fun. I just tell people to visit more often because we live around hill country. So beneath me is hill country, water, hills, bees, farms, ranches, a lot of sheep's out here, a lot of goat meat for sale. The Austin you see on TV versus the actual central Texas area cracks me up. So yeah, I just don't think people understand, like, this is common sense, but apparently we having to tell people. That's all they do in the office is tell their business. That's my problem. I be telling people, like, we only here to get a paycheck. We only here to get a paycheck. I don't know why y'all not here to get friends. And this is why people be so worried about having a job, because they want to be friendly at work. They want to talk to people. You're supposed to build an outside life outside of work. That's really the truth. You're supposed to build a whole life. And this is Regina Old Money Attorney. You can go look her up. I'm not a blocker. Regina old Molden attorney, my bad. Happily married, age 55, inspiring midlifers, life over 50. You're gonna see a ton of people on the internet over 40 and over 50, as you should, because our society has older people. But definitely go look it up. She doing what she do. She wants you to see that lace front. I see you, sister. I see you. So again, listen. And it's crazy because it's like every post she posts is the most common sense thing you've ever heard of. And I don't know what y'all doing at work. Oh, wait, it's not showing. Hold on, let me show her page. Let me give her props. I don't want y'all to think I'm not showing her stuff. I'm not even being funny. Like, I didn't realize this was a thing that we have to tell grown people, stop it. Get some help. She's a lawyer. Workplace claim. She's gonna show you. Okay. Check her out. Happily married, social justice runner, midlife, over 50. And y'all gonna see it start getting a lot more older folks on the internet. For real, as you should. I'm a city girl, but I can rep it. Good thing about working remote still, no workers. There you go. No co-workers. Man, y'all can check her out on your own time there. Let me get to it. I have too many things in here, but I'm gonna show them to you. I got to do it. Now, again, when I sit here and tell y'all about banking, and y'all be like, Erica, no. I'll be like, move y'all money out these banks. Move it around. Multiple banks. Quit begging these banks. Okay, so this bank refused to give this man his money.
Now in Santander Bank, right?
What are you doing, sir?
I'm filming you and I'm recording this conversation. I'm coming to the bank to withdraw £2,500. Are you going to let me? I've got £11,500 in my account. Are you going to let me? Are you going to let me have the money or not?
He was transferred to a staff member on the phone, but the situation only continued to escalate.
Are you going to let me withdraw £2,500 from my account today? Yes or no, in the branch?
And what is the £2,500 for, Mr. Jackson?
To buy a motorbike for my son.
Right, okay, so have you got any evidence of the motorbike?
No, I haven't got any evidence of a motorbike at all. No, I haven't got it. So I don't know what one I'm getting yet.
Okay, so if you don't know what you're getting, how do you know how much you need?
Because I've got a budget. I've got a budget of £2,500 for the motorbike. So that's why I want to withdraw £2,500 from my account today.
Right,
Yeah.
so when you find the bike for your son, if you can show us some evidence of that.
So you're not. So I need to show you evidence. So I need to show you evidence.
You can't film me without my permission, sir. You cannot film me.
So you're not going to give me the money, no?
I'm going to hang up this immediately.
Absolute joke,
okay,
this place.
Call the security.
Absolute jokes. You're an absolute joke, this place.
So he didn't get his money. Let me tell y'all something. If you got $11,000 in your bank and you want $2,000 out of it and your bank won't give it to you, hey, guess what we're going to do today? We're going to close my account. What, sir? We're going to close my account and you're going to give me a check for $11,000 right now because y'all goofy. We're closing the account today. We're closing the account today, right now. No, new mission. I'm not buying my son a motorbike. We're closing the account today. I really want you to understand what capital control is. There's never at a time do I need to tell you what I'm about to spend, how I'm about to spend it. You can't get somebody $2,500 and they own cash and they got $11,000 bank. It's one thing if they only have $4,000 in the bank or $3,000 in the bank. This person has $11,000 in the bank. Expeditiously close your account. Without question, close your account. I don't think y'all understand. Close your account immediately. Never have all your money. And when I was telling y'all this in the funding model, people act like, oh, what are you talking about? I've never had less than 5 accounts. Never less. Because I've experienced them. Oh, we're going to close this because we don't understand your business. Here's a check. And, we'll give you the rest of anything that comes in. I'm like, wait a minute. You're stopping the flow of my business, how I pay my employees, how I do stuff. And there's no reason. You better get out of here. Yep, I already see in the algorithm. I'm 55, just got fired. I'm 62, just got fired. Hell, there's boomers and Gen X made channels off that content. Yep, that's what it's doing. Immediately. I work at a bank and people want 10K at a time. We just tell them to call ahead. See that right there? Close my account. Just go ahead. Go ahead and close my account. Go ahead and close it. And y'all be thinking, oh, it's the small branch. No, this is the big branches. You go to some of these small credit unions, they got it. They get shipped a big amount of money at the beginning of the week, and not many people come take out money. So they got it. It's the bigger branches that ain't got it. Yeah, show proof of his like where the motorcycle, what you gonna buy? And then he still have an account there? No. That account gets closed that day. That account gets closed that day. Now I'm gonna show y'all the power of money, because y'all really be acting like nobody needs money, Erica. Nobody needs money, Erica. We're just all out here on freedom pills. Okay. Now, this is a lake in Australia. You may not even care about this, but I just want to show it to you.
The Indians spent more than 6 years lobbying for it. So the Berwick Springs Lake was renamed to Guru Nanak after people like Mr. Singh spent over 6 years lobbying for it. So this is Berwick, and the lake is located just down here. And this is an area dominated by people who were born in India. In Cranbourne East, for example, 16.6% of its population was actually born in India. But for the Australians living in the area, they feel blindsided as there was no community consultation. But this is just what happens when ethnic groups form enclaves, when they begin to dominate a region in a country, people bend to their will. In this case, it was the Victorian Labor government. They tried saying, hey, we're just trying to celebrate diversity. And in the same announcement as changing the lake's name, they also announced $600,000 towards Sikh celebrations. They can say all they want, but they just won't admit this is clearly pressure from the growing ethnic bloc forming in the region. So expect more headlines like this, with lakes being renamed, parts of Australia being renamed Little India, just as the influence and the size of blocks and enclaves grow in our country. So a lake in Australia.
Okay, so the funniest thing about this is Australia. First of all, the white people that are in Australia are descendants of prisoners and people from jail. That there's no other way around it. You are prisoners from England. And then the few extra British people they sent over there to rule over you are the prison guards. Okay? Then you beat up the indigenous people over there to a pulp almost. I mean, to beat them down to the white meat. Okay, beat them bad, treat them bad, take their children in foster care systems. They're still taking their children in foster care systems. I saw multiple stories. The boy I posted on my community wall today that's like, I left America for good. And he did not leave New Jersey and move to Australia because it's so great. And I said, baby, what are you talking about? Australia trapped people during the pandemic. You couldn't leave the country unless you got the vax. I mean, they wouldn't even let you on a boat to leave the country, y'all. Unless you're back. And so then more people kept coming in sick. And they were like, how are people getting sick? We're not letting the unvaxxed people leave because it was a joke, y'all. It was the vax people making everybody sick, right? So then you sit here and you realize Australians are a petri dish of example. Essentially, the Indians, this is a different sect than the other sect. The Indians in London, a little more dangerous, a little more gang related, a little more stabby. They are buying up more properties than white people in Britain, right? In Australia, it's an easier country to get to than America or the UK. So a lot of Hong Kong people are there and a lot of Indian people are there in growing ever numbers. This is the power of money and lobbying. I'm going to keep lobbying, right? I'm going to keep lobbying to get what I want in my area because I'm what? I'm owning land. I'm owning businesses. I'm paying taxes. Now, you could have lobbied this lake to be named whatever you want, but you didn't care for 6 years to lobby what you want. And this is what people are going to learn. Now, you're going to say, well, Erica, this is lobbying in a harmless way. Well, let me show you lobbying in a dangerous way while we're on it. Let me show you lobbying in a dangerous way. This is a clip from Boydzilla called Crime is Legal. And I want you to understand when I talk about business ownership, I don't just talk about it from the perspective of let's make money and party and hang out and let's look fancy on Instagram. That's not what I'm here for. Money solves a multitude of things. So I'm gonna play this little bit of clip and I'm gonna let y'all hear it.
Right before his pardon, coincidentally, had donated over $1 million to the Trump campaign and done the same thing that SBF is doing, where he's like trying to pitch for like, I'm a Trump guy now, because what all these guys know is if you pitch that, oh, I'm on Team Trump, then maybe you'll get away with it all. We see this from Donald J. Trump. I thought it was fake, like I said. I refused to report on this until we got Trump actually commenting on it because I just didn't believe it was possible.
What was your reason for pardoning Trevor Milton?
Highly recommended by many people that was taken advantage of. He did a business deal like in Utah, as I have it. And I think he was exonerated, and then they brought him into New York, where he had a rough road. I mean, he was exonerated. It was a big celebration. Again, I don't know him, but they say it was very unfair. And they say the thing that he did wrong was he was one of the first people that supported a gentleman named Donald Trump for president.
So if you support Donald Trump for president, you can do whatever crime you want.
He literally said he was one of those people that supported Donald Trump for president. Like, he didn't even give a good answer. Like, I don't know why I'm pardoning him. The truth is, these presidents don't give a shit about these people they party. They get literally documentation pushed in front of them. You should party this dude because A, B, and C. You should do A, B, and C because you should party this dude. They have no reason. The reason is he gave $1.8 million to the Trump candidacy. If you could go back in time, if you go back and look at FTX, the crypto scam guy that had his business everywhere, he donated to so many Democrats within the party, Biden all the way down, that by the time it was like to put him in jail, it was like so many people's names was attached to him. It's like somebody had to do something for him. Like, well, let's see if we can get this prosecuted very fairly. Like again, this is just a game. People you literally put money into the coins. You put money into the system pays back. That is how it's always been. So when people argue with me about money and we need to lobby for black boys and black girls, and it's money. That's why literally Tim Jackson started a lobbyist campaign. Again, you want somebody to go up there and petition for black people and you don't want to pay them. This is the system we're in. It works via money. This is why when I sit here and tell you I have no respect for Dr. Dre, who dropped $30 million on USC, so it's USC, so his children can go there. No, you put 2-3 million in 5 different historically black colleges and let it rock. You see how powerful the historical black college marketing was when just Deion Sanders was over there. Now they have 10x enrollment. Clark Atlanta got 42,000 people applying to go to school there at a small hood side of town. I mean, y'all have to understand the power of marketing, because most people don't know what they want. And you just tell them this is what we're going to do. And they're like, okay, we're going to roll with it. And this is why Boyzilla's like, I'm depressed. I'm upset because crime is going unpunished. No, it's not that crime is going unpunished. These people are breaking off millions of dollars. And if I could tell y'all the amount of American Greed shows that are going to come out of Utah, and I'm not knocking Mormons. This is not me knocking Mormons, but people that come out of Utah, I mean, when I hear somebody tell me they're moving to Salt Lake City, I'm like, what kind of crime you in? What kind of crime you about to do? Because Salt Lake is like #1 hotspot for scammers. But because they're white men, we don't have YouTubers online all day talking about them. Except for Godzilla and CoffeeZilla. And what's the other boy that gets beat up with the shaved head? I forgot. Spencer Cornelius. So, money matters. Money matters. Y'all talk about we taking over a city. Not until you pay the city council. Not until you break some money up. Listen, why do you think in Florida, old boy was so mad when the Tate brothers came in? Because really, when the Tate brothers came in, they broke a lot of people off some money. Trump campaign, other people, and they got a private. What you didn't hear in the news is they flew them Tate brothers in. You can hear it now, but they flew them Tate brothers. Now they weren't on a private plane. They were on an American plane to get Americans out of that country. They were on one of them plane flights. Like, hey, we can only guarantee you for the next 24 hours. Get your A up and get on this plane so you can leave this country. And I highly suggest you don't return. I highly suggest you don't return. I highly suggest you figure out how to have fun in America, because this is a one-time trip. But that'll come out in the wash in a couple of years on the Tate brothers. Some of it's coming out now.
But to be clear, that wasn't what he did wrong. Nobody was mad at him for going for Trump. Yes, he all of a sudden started donating money to Trump's campaign. But when Trevor Milton says, oh, this is my best day in 5 years, I'll tell you why it's his best day in 5 years. Because Hindenburg research revealed how they parlayed an ocean of lies into a partnership. They're doing this fake it till you make it thing. But it's not your average, like, oh, we're slightly exaggerating some of our details. We actually, they had a truck. They said they had this hydrogen powered truck that worked, but it turned out they were rolling it down a hill. Like, this wasn't the role for Donald Trump. They're just lying about the capabilities of their vehicle. This was not powered by hydrogen here.
It was rolling down a
It was
hill.
rolling. I mean, guys, what are we doing here? In addition, they had internal emails where they revealed that their truck, which was supposed to be powered again by just hydrogen, but instead there was an electric cable that went up to power it. So when they were doing their like show, it looked like it worked. I mean, you get the point. It was like a blatant fraud. And now, instead of actually, paying a stiff price, like the FBI said, now he just walks away. And just as a coincidence, by the way, one of the trial attorneys of Trevor Milton was Brad Bondi, or Bondi. I don't know how to say that. Either way, it's the brother of our new attorney general of Trump, who is Pam Bondi. So Brad Bondi, trial attorney. Now his client gets retroactively pardoned while his sister is the attorney general. It's so correct. It's not even like it's mind blowing. I mean, it's like,
so this is what I want y'all to understand. What's happening? I think, sorry, no, it's so stupid. I remember Diamond Dave said that people upset about the appearance of fairness. And a lot of times they go, well, Black people, if y'all just pull yourself up by the bootstraps and you work hard, you'll be just fine. But they don't. But when it's really shown in their face how unfair this system is, if it's just who you know. It just happens their client had one of the best attorneys whose sister happens to now be the attorney general of the United States. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, right? Because it's a small world. And it's literally who you know, right? Even in the land grab course, I tell y'all, one of the things I put in the training is like, whoever's in the town you're trying to market to and buy stuff, be very friendly to like 7 different groups of people. And the reason I say 7 groups of people is because it's very easy now in this economy, like, oh, they're breaking the rules. That wholesaler, that land buyer, that developer is doing A, B, and C. When you actually could just butter up through a few conversations, like 7 different groups of people. And then they're like, oh, yeah, I know her. Oh, yeah, she's over here all the time. That's fine. Because really, these smaller towns, these mid cities, these tier 2 cities, that's how a lot of this works. It's like, oh, I know them. That's fine. That's Big Jeff. That's Miss Erica. That's fine. And that's why I said I had no respect for Dr. Dre. I'm like, he could have been big dog whoever at any of these campuses. And literally, Kev on stage, the reason I have so much respect for him, I just saw him at a church and he just did like 70 cities, 70 Black historical churches, filling up their pews, renting their space out. It's cheaper than renting, what's funny about it is it's cheaper than renting out comedy space in these places. And the money actually goes back into our community. And actual Black people in the community are like, oh, I've never been to this church. This is a huge church. I didn't even know they existed. And so it's a circular feed where, I'm not going to say Kev on stage is next Tyler Perry, but he's in that same category. So, yep. Most people I work with are in Utah. Listen, when y'all see American Greed the next 3 years, it's going to be Utah and PPP loans. PPP loans, poor people problems. Yep. So, yeah. Get out of there. I think that's all I have for that.
Like, truly mind-blowing. We have a guy who not only that also donated $1.8 million, according to the Wall Street Journal, to a Trump fundraising committee in October.
I gotta get out of here. My point is, a lot of people started all these tech companies, and then when you dig, you're like, actually, no, not at all. That is not what happened. That's not what they're representing. Let me show you this. Oh Lord, I got too many windows open for y'all. I'm trying to show y'all so many cool stuff in a day. Now, the marketing is hate Florida and Texas. I'm gonna show you this other thing. The marketing is hate Texas. Let me show you the marketing. Let me show you the real data though, because people be like, oh, Texas is worse, but Texas and Florida are the worst, but isn't this interesting? These are the states people actually regret the most. This is actually from the data, not the internet marketing, real data.
Regret moving to the most in the U.S. Firstly, the state where people are most happy after moving to is Tennessee. But here are the top 5 states people regret moving to the most. At number 5, it's California. Around 59% of people who move there decide to leave again. At number 4, it's Connecticut. About 60% of people who move there leave. It's not very cheap to live in this small state. At number 3, it's New York. About 63% of movers decided to leave. The cost of living and busy lifestyle make it hard for many to stay here. At number 2, we got Illinois. Around 67% of movers leave after a while here. Many people don't like the high taxes and the cold winters. And finally, at number 1, this state tops the list, with a whopping 70% of people leaving after moving there. It's super expensive, and the bad weather doesn't help either. It's New Jersey. Which state do people regret moving to the most?
That's why y'all crack me up. I'm like, Texas and Florida, people hate living there. They regret it. They're like, no, you're not. That's not what the data shows at all. What are you guys talking about? What are you talking about? Where do you get these talking points? Because they fed it to you? Don't do that. Don't do that. Let me show you this. You're going to start seeing a trend of people. I quit Instagram. You're going to start seeing a lot of that. A lot of people, I was like, come to YouTube years ago. Now they're coming, which is funny, but it is what it is. Let me show you this. And if you're enjoying the content, just drop a 1 in the comments. Help the girl out. Well, show me some engagement so I know what to keep going or not on some of this, because I'm okay with not. So anyway, all right. Here's this young lady right here. I like her. She's good.
Poured into my YouTube channel. Full disclosure, I deleted my TikTok account from TikTok, but
first of all, I don't know if y'all noticed, she does all this stuff in her laundry room. It's a great marketing for moms and people. First of all, they wish they had a giant laundry room that they could film in. Okay, it is a status symbol among people who are homeowners who know what the real is. Okay, if you know homes, you know a giant laundry room, right? This means she in a big old house. But go ahead, let me keep moving. Everybody don't know. Some of y'all weren't raised like that. That's okay.
But I do still have my account on Instagram. I just haven't posted there in nearly a year. But what I'm telling you is not to necessarily delete your account. What I'm saying is delete the idea that you should make Instagram what I call your king platform. That is the main platform you use to bring you business. If I go back to Instagram, I'm going to be using it in one of 3 ways. One way is to just use it as a digital business card. So if people do look you up on Instagram, they can see that you have a real business and you help real people get real results and you know what you're talking about. The second way is to use it as a behind the scenes opportunity so that people who follow you on YouTube can go over there and get to know you a little bit better. And the third way is just to use it for fun. If you like to post short form video, go over there and post about whatever you want. Don't worry.
It's not just a mom homeowner thing. It's anybody who's ever been in a house. If you actually go look at houses, you're not an apartment dweller. You actually go over friends' houses, you go over people's houses. This style of washing machine room is for homes over, if you're in Texas, over $600,000 to $800,000 homes. If you're up north, this is somebody with a reconverted basement or something, right? If you're in Chicago, this is a whole basement, right? This is a portion of a basement, right? If you're in the Southeast, this is a huge portion of your garage if you have this much laundry room space. So this is a financial thing. This is why I don't always come on here disrespectful. I know y'all started to think man, Erica be talking smack. I don't. This is just, we are in financial different levels in this country. And you guys have to look. Like if someone's watching her channel, if there's a mom, like, why should I listen to her? They look at that laundry room. They look at that laundry room and they go, I'm going to listen to her now because I know she got a big old house. It's just like on earlier, Diamond Dave was saying about the pop the balloon thing. And I keep telling people, like, there are so many women who have great marriages. They've been married for a long time. Nice, wonderful husband. He's a wonderful person. But a young woman will see her husband and see he's not attractive, right? Or conventionally attractive is the word. Or see that he's not successful in her eyes, like making a lot of money, or they go on a lot of vacations, and they will not take advice from her. I know a really nice woman with a really nice husband, and she just has very simple advice. on dating. And it's funny because nobody will listen to her. Not because her husband's ugly, not because he's just not, you just like, oh, okay, that's your husband. Okay, I'm not listening to you. Right? Like there are people who think like that, and there's no disrespect. It's just real life. So when somebody who knows houses, or they are stay-at-home mom and they're like, I need to make more money, but I want to stay home with my kids. They look at this woman who's in her garage, and her laundry room is so big that she can help set up a whole desk in there. Yeah, they're gonna listen to her. Every video I tell y'all, this is nothing but a humidifier. Nothing but a humidifier. There's no incense. It's just nice clean air for your sinuses. It is starting to be springtime. Right? So let me finish what she's saying. I hope y'all are actually hearing what she's saying.
About the algorithm. Don't worry about your likes. Don't worry about your followers, because if you're not just using it for fun, you're going to fall into this next trap and the next reason why you should quit Instagram. Instagram is one big slot machine. Think about it. If people knew that there was no chance they were going to win money when they played the slot machines, they would never play them because they would know that they would be a total waste of time. But because they know that there's a very slight chance they could win money, they keep playing. The same applies to these social media apps. We don't know exactly what our outcome is going to be, how many likes, how many followers, how many views we're going to get, but we post anyway because we know that there is a small inkling of a chance that video could do well. So we spend so much time creating and obsessing over these perfect pieces of content that we waste a lot of our time, and we create all this busy work when we could be doing a lot of other things that would make us way more money. Now, you can say that YouTube is similar. We don't know the outcome of our posts before we post them. We don't know how many likes, subscribers, views we're going to get on these videos. But I will tell you that on YouTube, even my low performing videos bring me in either potential clients to my email list or clients. Whereas on Instagram, if I had a really low viewed reel, I usually did not get any sales from that reel. So why is that? Let's say you are really hungry and I offer you a handful of Skinny Pop. You may take it and it tastes good, and you may actually be satisfied for a minute, then you'll be hungry again. That's what short form video is. It's junk food. It's snack food. It's not meant to fill anyone up. It's meant to entertain them. That's why they are constantly scrolling, looking for that next bite of junk food. But when it comes to long form content, that's like me offering you a meal packed with protein and vitamins and flavor. It's going to fill you up, and you're going to remember it and want more later. This is why you don't have to be YouTube famous to make money with your content, because one piece of long form video can get someone to connect with you, trust you, and even buy from you way faster than if they were to watch one short form video of yours.
I keep telling y'all this. Instagram is just a digital business card. Let me look at me in my eyes. They're like, Erica, are you going to fight for the 40,000 people you lost on Instagram? You're going to fight for it. You got to fight for your Instagram, Erica. Oh my God. I'm like, no, I don't give a shit. I don't care about Instagram. I hated it. I'm posting for people to be like, oh, Erica's really doing it. And for people to talk shit all day. I don't care. Dude, you can look at the long form content on this YouTube for over 10 years. Like right now we have Peter trying to do a B-roll of all the years. We had to pull like 30 videos for him to have like snippets for so many years, because long form content has always been the moneymaker. It's always been the consistent. The short form content has you on a hamster wheel. It has you trying to compete with young people. You're not going to compete with young people. If you're in your 50s, you only need about 5. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, the young people that go to these events that I'm with, they're making millions off Income and Shopify and making a supplement or doing different stuff. They have like 9 pictures up. It's just like a card. It's like, if girls want to DM them, that's what they got it up there for. Basically, they go and message girls. That's it. They're not on there like that. It's people 35 to 55 trying to stunt on other people. Can you get a lot of traction? Like, I mean, the Anchor Boys and several people I've shown y'all. If you post every day, 1 to 3 times for a year, it will reward you. But you're going to work like a Hebrew slave, and you're building on somebody else's background. So you always need to be getting those people off that platform onto an email list, onto something else, because they can take that from you any day. Same thing with Facebook. Like I keep telling people, like, like there's a reason. I can't even give you all that. I can't even give you all that's a whole class. I'm going to stop. There's a reason, there's a way I show you in different groups and classes how to reach out to all these people. offline, because that's what's going to matter long term. There are people y'all send me on Instagram with huge numbers. I go, they don't make no money. I know them. They don't make no money. I know them personally. They don't make no money. They spend all of it on marketing, trying to make the Instagram pop. There was one girl, she spent $20,000 to make her Instagram pop every month. And she was making about $32,000 a month and spending 20. Like, the math is wrong. The system ain't right, girl. Fix that. So what happens is you have to know what vehicle you're using and how you play in the game. So y'all see me people all the time. Sometimes I don't know them, but sometimes I do. I'll be like, I'm in a group. I know that person. And there's one person who was like, I don't post. There's one young lady. I like her page. If I can find it, I'll show y'all. She was like, I don't even post like that because, you know, there was years where she ran multiple salons. She's running around with chicken head cut off. She had 50 employees. You know, she was making 50 to 80K a month. She was like, it was so stressful that she got pregnant and had a difficult pregnancy. So she dropped most of her stuff down and just did what made money. Now she had 20, 25, 35K a month. Still doing great. Some of this stuff is seasonal. Like when you tell people 20, 30K a month, oh, that ain't a lot of money. To who? What are you spending on? Like, if somebody tells me, Eric, I got 4 or 5 kids, we live in a very big house, all my kids go to private school, A, B, and C, then I believe you. 20K can go like that. But when you're talking about the average person who's out here living on 3K, please get out of here. Knock it off. Get out of here.
Yours. It can also kill your creativity because it is rigged to make you compare yourself to other people, and it's rigged to make you want to try these trends that are on there, use trending music so that you can increase the chances of your post being successful. Conditions us to want to be and look like everybody else. And if you're not trying to look like everybody else in your reels, you're trying to look like everybody else when it comes to what's in your home or what it is that you wear because of all the social media influencers. But also, if you really want people to watch and like your content, you want to have a little bit more time to be able to create a longer piece of content and not have to crank out a piece of content almost every day to keep your reach up, which is really embarrassing at how much I was worried about that until I wasn't. Now I can put together decent content for one video in a week, and I'm not spending so much time trying to make sure that my content is good.
You saw the views of the house, right? Let me do that one more time, because I think people missing how she dropping it on you.
Until I wasn't. Now I can put together decent content for one video in a week, and I'm not spending so much time trying to make sure that my content is good. I don't know about you, but
you make sure it's lit up in the back so you see that kitchen, the counter's cleared off. Making sure you see the living room, that light is on, so you see how deep the room goes. I love marketers. I love real marketers. I love it, girl. I love it. Love it, Miss Virginia.
I didn't want to put out crap content. And I was really annoyed when I saw that all these people were putting up 3-second reels and then telling people to just go read the caption. I didn't want to be part of that world anymore. I wanted to be part of quality content. And that's why I made YouTube my king platform, which brings me to my strategy, how I grow YouTube.
All right. So you can go watch the rest of hers. But if you literally just type in quitting Instagram, there are several people who are on this mantra of quitting Instagram because they've actually created real businesses. They have real systems, but y'all don't want to hear that. Hold on, let me show you this right here. Okay, literally, again, you can go quitting Instagram. You can go look up so many people, and you can actually see who, again, you can actually see who is really doing it, who's not. Once they get to a certain amount of money, you know what I'm saying? They just don't have to. It's a lot I can tell you. This is the girl too. This is the girl who daddy went ghost on her. It's a damn shame. Shame these daddies going ghost on these children. Again, Instagram is dead. Listen, again, there's people that make money off Instagram. Don't get it twisted. There are people who make money, but I just want you to understand the money's in the long form. Even this guy right here.
If you just understand what I'm gonna tell you in this video.
Let me see. Can y'all see him? Yeah, y'all can see him. Okay, make it bigger.
You'll be like 10 times more successful in half the time because you won't have to go through all the crap that I went through. So look,
y'all know who this is?
Not only did I quit Instagram, I quit TikTok, I quit a lot of the products that I was making. I basically just quit everything else. And the reason for this is this. Most entrepreneurs, especially beginning entrepreneurs or people early on their entrepreneurial journey, their minds are completely fucked. So I was all over the place because I was like this, okay, I want to have a successful business online. So I need to have Instagram. I need to have TikTok. I need to have a podcast. Let's do a podcast. Everybody needs to have a pod. Then outside of that, I probably need Twitter, right? Or X, whatever Elon's calling it right now, right? So, and then now Instagram, they have Threads. So I probably need to go ahead and hop on Threads. And then outside of that, I need to do some paid advertising. I need to get my paid marketing down, right? So then I need to have my ads, right? And then on top of that, I've had like 10 to 12 other products that I was working on. So this is why I'm saying I was all over the place. And when you're all over the place, you typically don't get any results in any of the places, right? So this is how it typically works. Let's say that you have like 100 points. Let's say that you have 100 points of focus that you can dedicate on something each day. Majority of people, they don't get any traction anywhere because their points of focus are scattered everywhere. So if I say that this is going to be all of your energy right here, what most people look like.
Oh Lord. Okay, I'm sorry. I just realized what time it was. Hold on a second. Lordy, hold on. Hold on a second.
But I'll give you the long one. Pause.
I just want to hear the first 10, 15 seconds and I'm gonna get on out of here.
I've made over 7 figures online in my business with just one digital product doing a little over 900K. And look, I'm telling you, my business, as well as my mental state, has never been in a healthier place since I quit social media. And it's only going to take me about 5 minutes to break.
Okay, so again, I just want to show you that. I want him to show that little screen print of his money. Why am I telling you this? Why am I telling you this? I just want y'all to have realistic ideals. Again, I'm going to hit the 5 trends now because that's what originally the show is going to be about. I know the show is quite long. I apologize. As we come up on this month, April's going to be kind of crazy. He was. Give you kind of the crazy. The next 30 days is going to be crazy. They're just going to be crazy. And I appreciate you being here on the channel. I appreciate you watching when you can, do what you can. But it's going to be a little bit wow. So let me see if I can pick 3. I'm going to just do the 3. It's a lot. Let me pick this one. I'm gonna pick this, and then I'm gonna show you the 5 financial trends. Yeah, I'm gonna do because it's getting too long. The shows I would love to make it like 2-hour shows, but I can't do that. We ain't gonna do that today. That's not happening. Things to do. So Iman Ghazi.
If one person invested $10 million into the business back then, they would own only 1.25% of the business. And Iman probably got fairly favorable terms because of how well known he is in the digital product space and the synergy he'll have with WAP. And he will be expected to use his organic content to tell people about WAP.
Do y'all know what WAP is? If y'all don't, that's okay. Tell me you don't know what WAP is. Let me go like this. WAP, okay. In comparison, school versus WAP. That's basically the best way it is. It has $800 million valuation. He supposedly put $12 million into it. Hormozy went with school, right? And there's so many ways I want to tell y'all. Sam Ovens is school. Hormozy is just a hired face. And I know you're like, stop hating on Hormozy. The thing about being in business this long, when you're in business 10, 12 years, y'all can go back and ask my ex-business partners. You can go back and see customers we worked on. You can go back and see tax documents, returns, years and years of money being made, being lost, being moved forward. You're going to see this year, I'm going to document for like 8 months. Some of my vacations, some of my different stuff I'm doing. You'll be able to see you'll see snippets from Inner Circle stuff and Inner Stubber and how we pivot even in a year that they're claiming it's a recession year. We're going to make a ton of money because when everybody's like, oh, it's a recession, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to sit back. I bought a house and I laugh because the builder put the interest rate down to like 3%. And there's 10 other Instagrammers and YouTubers I've been showing y'all. They are buying houses right now. While they're telling you not to buy a house, they're buying a house. The guy that tells you everything in the housing market is going to crash for the last 5 years, he has 8 houses. But when that comes out, I can't wait. I'm not going to be the one because I'm not the one. Y'all don't want to hear it from me. He has 8 rental properties. And he's the same person complaining about the Airbnbs and the renters and the owners and the landlords. He has a whole channel and a program talking about this, but he doesn't tell you he has 8 rentals because he knows that will not play with his audience. Okay, so there's a lot of there's qualified, skilled people tell y'all stuff, but what I realize is I'm gonna have to show you, because we're in a show me culture. If I don't show my finger sticking in the dirt and the plans on the dirt, nobody believes it, right? If you don't show them the actual office, they can't believe it. What? Because we're in a show me culture, and it's unfortunate, but the people that are working with me now, you'll see they'll have the most benefit to reap from all this, because they didn't need all that. But it's just a kind of the culture we're in right now. So again, Hormozy is a person that for 10 years was making gyms all over America make millions of dollars and basically go viral in their small towns. You're telling me over 10 years this man was doing that to gyms, and there's not a gym owner ever to come up and say, yeah, man, he changed my life. I can't believe he's doing this now. I can't believe he's pivoted to this now. Oh, yeah, I remember Hormozy and his wife with the deep voice before she had a deep voice because she hit them steroids. There's no one talking. There's none of that. You know why? Because it's a good story. It's a good story. Cody Sanchez never talks about her husband. Her husband she has now, he's a former military person, like special ops. You can't fake out who he is. We can dig and say, oh, he's a special op. There's people who served with him. You dig what I'm saying? You can't play these stories on people who actually have brains. So you're telling me this guy and his wife was going around making multi-millions for gym owners all over the USA, and we somehow did not hear about it? There's not one girl who said, yeah, girl, he came to my gym and I got fired. Yeah, I came in and Hormozy fired me and all the bodybuilders and all the personal trainers. There's not one person that's come in and said that. That's why I just want y'all to just come on now. Are we gonna be real? We're gonna be fake, right? Or we only apply those standards to people who look like us because we can't believe it. Same thing with when Ty Lopez came out with that credit boy that had millions and $3 million in lines of credit. He even told you on a live stream, he's like, I have 122 LLCs. That's how I got this. When you do the math on 122 LLCs and 3 million, you're like, that's ridiculous. I know a person with 2 LLCs and they have a $6 million line of credit, and they're not doing that kind of stuff. They're not jumping through that many hoops. They're not getting 122 LLCs to get 3 million in line of credit to do what? When the math is very clear, you could get $500,000 and y'all wouldn't have to work again if you just invested it right. You build about 2 houses a year, one in the spring, one in the fall. You have 1 or 2 rentals you pick up a year. You never work again. Why would you need 122 LLCs to get $3 million? See, people don't listen long enough to make any kind of brain synapses be like, that's kind of retarded. Why would I do that? Why would I do that to myself? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense. Okay. So again, they're like, yeah, they're trying to hype it up. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, he's got a 3% ownership stake. He's not the face of the company. This guy who bought Whoop, who put 12 million in, the more interesting answer is, how did he get $12 million off being a YouTuber? Off running institute, YouTube, right? How is he buying up, and again, he's just getting off YouTube. I mean, that's all that is. Let me show you real quick. Let me get off my rant. Let me get off here.
Decided to invest into WAP and to become a co-owner with this great big announcement up in Times Square here. Now, users are currently selling $100 million worth of digital products.
$100 million per month in digital products on this platform. This is why when y'all sit here and say courses are dead, nobody's buying courses, nobody's buying coaching, nobody's buying digital products. That's not true. There's $100 million being sold a month. This is how I know. This is why I tell y'all, who are you talking to? What rooms are you in? What rooms are you in? Right? You have to be very clear. What rooms are you in? Who are you talking to? Are you getting the right template, the right instruction? And all this guy is doing is this. Let me get over here. All he's doing, long story short, he's snitching on school a little bit. Hold on. There we go. A little bit like this.
Having him on board as a co-owner. On top of that, Iman can promote WAP for free, increasing the value of his investment and giving his investment free marketing. And he can even use WAP to host his own communities and coursing. Rumors being spun around about what killed this deal. One of my friends who works for Iman here said that basically Iman had more cash to invest into school than
he had more cash to invest in school than Hormozy to get a minority stake over Hormozy. Hormozy didn't want that to happen, and he fought for them to be equal. If I'm bringing $12 million, and I'm bringing more cash than Hormozy, why would we be equal? Do y'all understand? Do you understand the game that's being played in your face? You're telling me Hormozy, who's a multimillionaire from years of this magical gem history where he's been selling gems. I can't, y'all. Y'all know that shit's a story. And he had less money than a YouTube kid. That's 25. Okay. Hey, you know what I mean? You know, people gonna snitch it. Like, it's gonna come out in the wash. People gonna tell it.
Hormozy, and Hormozy didn't want Iman having more power, so he killed the deal. I don't think that's true. I think this is all just the rumor mill.
Yeah, I believe it's
using
true.
their community on literally everything used to it. It's fine, but it's never good.
No,
that is really the rumor mill.
Oh no. Oh, here it is. So this is all this kid's doing to get off YouTube. Let me show you.
Be the main criteria.
So he has Big Day Drink Company. Whoop is a software as a service. He has Flow is as a software service, and he has these eyewear glasses. So all he's doing is taking his YouTube money and like, how can I, again, you're going to market to your own audience, right? The Big Day Drink. Okay. It's just like if he was one of the other drink companies, but it's more clear, more professional, whatever, seltzer. And so he's just, again, how do we take our YouTube money, our digital money, and put it in real life money? And this is still more digital money, but that's how you're going to take your, you know, let's say he has, just for the sake of argument, $20 million he's made off of the run off YouTube, but stuff is kind of drying up. Okay, and he's in Dubai, he's around all these business owners. What can I invest my money into? Right? Come on, man. I mean, I keep telling people, but they so busy hating Jay Morris, they can't even see there's thousands of Jay Morrises and shit. But okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. Let me get out of here. Let me back out of that conversation. But y'all can go watch that video on your own. I just wanted to show that because I think a lot of times people are, they don't understand, right? And this girl is the girlfriend of Christian Guzman. And so they're married now. They're husband and wife. But what people don't understand is you standing beside somebody is so powerful. While he's making millions, you're going to make millions too because of the spill off. And so sometimes people in relationships, they don't realize there's spill off. So if you're in a relationship with a hoodlum and a bum, you're going to have problems. You're going to have to spill off of problems. If you're with a wealthy man, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a spill off of a wealthy man. If you're on a man that's hustling, if you're a man that's in real estate, here in Austin, there's a girl, she and her man got divorced and she still does great in real estate. Why? Because she was always the face. He was always, when he sold wholesaling deals or his new development, she was the realtor that did it. So even when they separated, now she still has this big career. See, y'all don't understand the power. People don't get with people just because they look good. They look good to me. I'm going to marry them because they look good. If that person's like that, they're going to lose all that money anyway. Okay? They're going to lose every dollar and it'll be a joke on the way out the door. This is Christian Guzman's woman, Heidi Summers. She did make $100 million. Some of her products in her line got picked up by Lululemon, like the design copy. But let me just go there for a second.
I don't know if I'm going to do this anymore. Oh, gosh. Well.
Damn, Hormozy's girl voice is. She didn't always sound like that. That's part about this whole thing.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Build. Today, we have a special guest who is a powerhouse in the fitness industry. She started as a fitness influencer. She built a super loyal following and then has turned that into a 9-figure empire. And so I wanted to go and figure out what are the brains behind this empire that she has built. You may know her as Heidi Summers. This is the Buff Bunny collection. You know, you started Buff Bunny in your living room and you did like everything. You wore all the hats. And so what I was wondering is, like looking back.
Now y'all can go watch this on your own. I can't. I had something I was gonna show out of that, but I can't. Long story short, Buff Bunny is the girlfriend, now wife, been girlfriend for 10 years to Christian Guzman. He finally was like, let me marry you. Okay, Latino Black men, very much the same. Okay, so let me marry you now because it's been 10 years and I done went crazy and made all this money. Long story short, she's from a family in Alaska, bunch of siblings. She's the only one that came to Texas like, let me try a new thing. Let me try something different. Let me sell some. I have an ideal. And what y'all don't realize is somebody, when they buy clothes, like when I buy a particular brand, I buy up as much as I can. I'm like, I want the blue pair of pants. I want the yellow. I want this. I want this. I want as many pieces of that. If it's a fabric you really like, you dump a lot of money into it. Period. You just do. Because you really like, you're like, I need this. I need all the soft fabric that they're going to provide me. And she's made $100 million. And so, but you're not going to see her because she's like, I'm just chilling under the wing of my man. I'm right here. Like her marketing is crazy, but she right there. Like, that's why I laugh when y'all be saying, oh yeah, they only marry hot chicks that are dumb and don't do anything. I'm like, nah, that girl was moving and shaking when he met her. She was moving and shaking. Moving and shaking people find each other. Whether y'all want to believe that in a fantasy world or not. Moving and shaking people find each other all the time. Where's this thing that I'm trying to show y'all? Hold on. Trying to show y'all, get on out of here. Dang. Okay, here it is. We're gonna go with this. Well, let me show you the whiteboard first, and then we're gonna go with the last part. Y'all know I love the whiteboard of truth and justice. Alex Becker used to say. Let me show y'all this. Again, this is from the previous couple shows where I said, again, society, we always need wall builders. These are the necessary. Like, let me start over. 80-20, America's chilling. Okay. 80-20, it's like, Black people not doing so well in the country. Oh, well, it's an 80-20 thing. It's only a smaller part of the population not doing great. And then it gets to 70-30. 70-30, then all of a sudden 30% of our population, they're not necessarily not doing well. They're just not on the same track, right? When you talk about there's 2 Americas, there's 3 Americas, there's 4 Americas. When you start feeling that 70-30, where you're telling young people, just go to college and go to school, and they're like, yeah, that doesn't work. For them and their mindset, it really don't. So they're not going to buy into it, right? I had so many people in my adulthood when I said I'm going to be an entrepreneur. This is like 2010. And I had a business. I had a whole coffee shop. And they were like, what's that mean? I own a whole business. But if I would have took myself and stayed in Raleigh, North Carolina, it would have been a different game. Just because of the companies I was interacting with and the people and the startups and the tech stuff I would have been doing if I'd have stayed in Raleigh instead of detouring back to Fayetteville. But it's all a part of the story. But me being here in Austin is hilarious because I'd have been doing that in Raleigh, or I'd have been in Austin. I'd have been around tech people, around tech opportunities, around people who we would consider off the beaten path. And society's okay as long as it's 70-30. Now, when it's 60-40, society's like, what are we doing? Why are these young people getting married? Why are these young people doing A, B, and C? Now, they're really talking about millennials, and millennials are late time getting married, late time starting families, late time getting on board. That's why you have these overwhelmingly high numbers of women having their first children, 37-42. Huge numbers. I'm talking about the data is off the charts. And it's like, oh God, what's going on in society? But it's just, those are the millennials, the late millennials coming around the bend, late millennials, right? But 60-40 makes society shaky. So when I sit here and tell y'all, we need wall builders, you're going to get to a point where kids are like, I need a job. I can't figure out this business thing or this creator thing. I need a job. So when Diamond Dave was talking about Z celebrities, which was funny, it's true. You're going to have people going, I'm a plumber, I'm an electrician, I'm a welder. I got into repairing trucks. I got into roofing. I got sales. When I go to conferences on roofing, it's not trying to be disrespectful, but majority of the men, white men, have a story that they were on drugs and nobody would hire them coming off drugs and coming out of rehab until they went to roofing. So this is kind of the running joke that the white people are on drugs and roofing. That's why so many Hispanics are in roofing, taking those jobs, but not taking the sales job part, right? So sales is always going to take in anybody, everybody that can pick up a phone, call somebody, will take them. Accountants and admin is less than 1%. Those are the wall builders of society. Skills that we need, 30%, medical, doctor, engineer, STEM, and 2% management, and then the 11% business owners top. Now, you see I've added the new strip that says tier A, tier B, tier C, tier D, tier E. Okay, tier A in any group, we can make it about social media, we can make it about taxes, anything, right? The tier A people that, if I asked y'all a list of people right now, who's tier A in credit repair, who's tier A in taxes, who's tier A in A, B, and C, all y'all can give me different answers depending on what region of the country you're in. People that you see all the time. You say earn your leisures, tier A. You know, everybody that goes on your leisure is tier A, right? For who? Considered by who, right? But tier A is usually a creator or people that are making millions in their craft, not just being seen everywhere, but also making millions in their craft. They're tier A. Every group has a tier B. They're making $250,000 to $1 million, maybe $4 million. But they're considered tier B because they're not the first person you think of in that craft. Does that make sense? They're not the first person you think of in that craft. Okay? Right? They're just not, right? So you're like, okay, boom, tier B, cool. They still make a lot of money. They can make a lot of money. Tier C, 150,000, 250,000. Now y'all don't understand. Tier C is a danger zone because you can fall off or you can go up. There are many people I know personally who've been in tier C for 5-6 years, as long as I've known them. And they've had just enough money to have a house, just enough money to have cars, just enough money to go on vacations, just enough. They have no desire to go up or down. They want to stay steady because it reminds them of when they had a job. And I always tell them, maybe that's dangerous. You need to every year, if you don't do it, add one rental to your portfolio, just give you a little extra security. Don't stay stuck at tier C. Now, anybody else would say, Erica, tier C, 150,000, 250,000 a year, that's good money. Again, we're not talking about paycheck money. We're talking about gross/net money. Does everybody understand the difference? We're not talking about paycheck money. We're talking about gross/net, and you got to come back around and pay taxes on this money. And people sometimes get comfortable and they never start investing in tax deduction related things. They never start investing in assets. They don't put no money away for retirement because they've been good here for a long time, right? You'll hear a lot of stories of business owners. All of a sudden they make $1 million and their wife leaves them. And you're like, what happened? Because they've been at tier C so long, she don't know what this new you's going to do. And also because sometimes these women be leaving at the most weird ass time. It's weird. I don't know what's going on with them. So then tier D is this 50,000 to 100,000. There's people I know who sit in this space and they're happy too. They're you know, they're in like, what's the word I'm looking for? Southeast, or their van life, or they're traveling overseas. Like there's a brother that travels all overseas. He was in the manosphere, but then he was like, he just started turning his content to nothing but travel and fun content, and he makes huge numbers off YouTube and the combination of collab videos and like travel related videos. Then tier E is that 10,000 to 30,000. This is some of the people you see arguing women's and men's topics online. YouTube ain't really paying them for that. They may get some super chats. They may get some support, but they really never get any money. Tier E is also people depending on AdSense money to come in. You know, the average person gets about 10K a year in AdSense money. You know, 10 to 40. It depends. I've seen some people get more money in AdSense money than most. But tier E is just like they barely in the game, so they have a full-time thing, or they're barely in the game. These are trad wives, right? So they doing just enough to get some shillings until they move up in their different tiers. You know, so they get Candace Owens level up here, the millions. And so why am I showing you these tiers? Why do they matter? Why is it important? The tiers also show the level of investment or cash returns. So this tier right here, 150,000, 250,000, I know wholesalers who make this. But the problem with the wholesalers is, what is their next deal? And if they didn't follow the rules of old school, sell 10, keep 1. If they didn't do that while they had a good run for 2 to 3 years before they get kind of burnt, kind of tired, man, they'll fall down off this. They'll fall down. So this could be a great tier. And again, a lot of people think, well, that's huge money, Erica. Why would someone lose that money? I'm telling y'all, people let lifestyle creep fool them. There's always somebody with more money. There's always a more expensive plane. There's first class tickets get really exciting. All this stuff, like it'll burn your money real quick. But if you put your head back on straight, you can go, okay, this is plenty of money. I need to just use it better. But even getting here, right? You're gonna have to take a significant 20 to 30K. I mean, to be honest, monthly if they really wanted to get here. They gotta start when they get here, they gotta start putting people on staff and ignore it. Because I know people here who do it mostly themselves with 1 or 2 people. And this is what they make in a year. All right. So again, burnout is real. People will burn themselves out if they don't really put systems in place to have a real business. They'll burn themselves out. Does this make sense? Y'all can put a 2 in the comments if this makes sense. If y'all understand what I'm saying. If I need to explain it a different way, please let me know. This is the time before I get off here and go into the 5 financial trends. I know it was a long show to get to the financial trends, but I ain't been on here for a couple days, so I had a lot of content. Does this make sense to y'all? Y'all are understanding this concept of the tiers? Lala Papa, you're a tough one. You're a tough one today. But essentially, those tiers on the business side, people can get there relatively easy. You can experience burnout if you're trying to be an independent artist. You have to at some point as an independent artist, whether it's music or a creator, you need to work with a management firm, a management office, some type of management system, because you really just want to focus on your art. And you got to put people in place for that. So you just gotta you gotta do it that way. But this is like when y'all watch some of the stuff I really do in the in-depth trainings, like I can show y'all people who get here all the time and they have very mid channels. You just be surprised. You'd be surprised. So let me go here to the 5 trends, and I've talked to y'all about this in the e-com side of things as much. Let me get here. And this is gonna be the last part of the night. Okay, so this is my first million who've sold themselves to HubSpot. So it was nice while it lasted. Let me go here. These are 5 trends, but these are pretty spot on.
3 times already. You didn't get into a lot of the ideas because we were just like peppering you with so many questions, and I wanted to be more focused. I think I asked you what are 5 or 6 like interesting health companies or health trends that you're interested in investing in. And you hit me back with a very detailed list in a very short amount of time. So clearly you are like already thinking and acting on a lot of these things. Can we go through each of them and you just tell me what they are? Because I'm crazy fascinated. Because like for the listener, you told me in 2014 or 15 that you were quitting tech, like you had a software company and you were going to launch a bone broth company. And I was like, oh man, like you're decided to throw your life away. That sucks. Like you were going to be one of the greats. And then it just came out in Forbes, I think, or what was that? Was it Forbes?
Yeah.
You had this amazing feature about your company, Kettle and Fire, and how you surpassed 100 million in annual revenue. And it was amazing. And I'm like, you definitely won. And I read the article, by the way, and I texted like 5 friends and I'm like, Justin does everything the right way. By the way, did I get that right? You guys, you're at 100 million run rate or revenue?
Yeah, north of that. Yeah.
And you said something amazing. I think you said, what did you say? We're going to be the best operating e-commerce company in America. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, basically like there are most of the big food companies were started pre-1900. And so a lot of these companies are very, very bloated. They're large, they've been around. Frankly, I think many of them are poisoning people and then paying lobbyists and other sort of opposition research groups to make sure that like soda doesn't get removed from food stamps and all these sorts of things. And so I think these are just generally bad actors. And I think that there's a huge opportunity to both out innovate these big CPG companies and also just run a better business. Like I guarantee no one in, Battle Creek, Michigan, working at Kellogg's is looking at like, how do we use AI to automate a lot of our workflows and process and things like that. Whereas like, that's something we have live work streams going in.
Boom, being nimble, being smaller. And again, to me, a lot of the tech bros that I run into, they're like, oh, I've got this software as a service. And they're like, what does it do? And it could be worth investing in, but the more you listen to it, you're like, why would I need that? What do I need that for? You know what I mean? Like they have to explain to you why you need the software, right? And if you don't know what bone broth is, just take time to Google bone broth and all the benefits of it. In America, we eat parts of it. We eat a lot of muscle meat, or we eat burgers, or we eat steaks. But really, we're meant to eat the whole cow or the whole chicken. We're meant to have broth. We're meant to have a certain amount of collagen in our diet, right? Like oxtails are very popular, which is funny that oxtails are very popular because oxtails are very popular in the Vietnamese community, making broth, making a lot of things, honestly, but making broth, making pho, all this stuff. So if you're not hip, I'm not gonna be funny, I'm not gonna be smart ass to y'all, but if you don't know what bone broth is, you're already 10 years behind. I'm gonna be honest with you, just no disrespect. It happens to a lot of our people in our community. If you don't know what bone broth is, you're 10 years behind. And this is why I tell people the medical industry in the 5 years I talk about, you're gonna be like, Eric, what are you talking about? Nobody's talking about that. I live in Austin, Texas. I'm on the tip of the spear as if I live in San Francisco, or I live in New York City, or I live in parts of Connecticut. Now, what do I mean with that? We have a lot of innovators and creative guys and marketing teams that will market stuff here first. I wanted to show y'all something somebody gave me, but I can't because it's not appropriate for YouTube, a couple of different products they gave me. And I don't want to get flagged, but essentially, like they came up with the idea and I was like, I tested it. I was like, this is going to work great for sleep, right? Like, but they're here innovating and are more nimble, right? It's no benefit to Kellogg's and all these companies to sell you the best of the best when they can make cheap products, cheap food, cheap processed crap. And if you really look at the overall country, we're having thyroid issues, and men, they just wrote men's testosterone levels, right? If you ask your doctor about your testosterone levels, and he looked at a book from 1950s, he would be like, brother, you're dying. Something's going wrong with you. But if you look at the numbers they just rewrote for last year, oh, it's okay. That's mid. And no doctor in America in 1950s or 60s or 70s would say you were okay. They would say, as a man, you need to go get a shot of TRT immediately. Something's wrong with you. But again, it's a combination of food and industries and people that pay for this stuff. So I'm not being disrespectful, but if you don't know what bone broth is, or the collagen movement, or carnivore, like you're already 10 years behind. And that's part of the reason I love living here in Austin. Like the healthcare I got when I had 2 emergencies, it was some of the best surgery I ever had in my life. And I was able to get up, stand up, be absolutely okay after surgery, like 2-3 days later. And they were like, you're recovered? And I was like, dude, I'm in Austin, Texas. Like I'm at the pinnacle of like money / the capital / medical / they got a medical school here. Like, I don't think you understand the importance of living in certain cities on your health, your mindset, and the data you know. Okay? Like, I don't want to beat y'all up on that, but I just want you to understand the data is you're not supposed to eat muscle meat all the time. You're not supposed to eat fried food all the time. You know what I'm saying? If you live on coastal cities, you should have more of a diet of fish. You know, I could go on a rant, but I'm not. I'm going to leave it alone. Let me finish some of this. I'm going to tell you the 5 trends.
Kettle and fire to figure out like how do we apply the craziest technology, like leap forward of, certainly my lifetime to just running the best possible company that we can. And I think it's working so far. We have like 34 people for our size of business, which is.
Imagine making $100 million and you only have 34 people on staff. The days of people having these 500, 600, 700,000, 500 people in a company to make the company make this money, they are not. They're not. That's a wrap. But that's when you're actually ready to listen and be nimble. I mean, I'm gonna keep it pushing. Let me skip ahead a little bit, but again, I'm gonna tell you some of the 5, and I've talked about it before. But the first one, of course, is longevity products for dogs. I cannot listen to dogs another day. I live in Austin. There's dogs everywhere. I mean, there's people making $8 to $12 million a month off dog products. You think the market is saturated? No, people love these dogs like they love their life. So one of them is longevity products for dogs. Number 2 is toxin testing. Now, what did he just tell you? He had a $100 million company. His brother worked with the company. His brother backed up from the company and made a second company. So they're going to make millions on top of millions with Light Labs. Let me go here.
Started Kettle and Fire together, and we grew it. And after some period of time, he stepped back from the business. And so his new business, which he started last year, is called Light Labs. And what they're doing is basically there are so many toxins and other sorts of like crap in our food supply chain. And at Kettle and Fire, we spend almost $500,000 a year testing all of the batches that we're making of bone broth to make sure that like there's no glyphosate, there's no PFAS, there's no phthalates, like all these sorts of things. And so we as a company spend a lot of money and a lot of energy making sure that our supply chain is clean, but we're making sure that it's clean of stuff that you can't see as a consumer, yet you probably care about. And so what Light Labs is doing is they're basically building a lab testing, toxin testing company, like a modern one, for consumer brands like Kettle and Fire, where they do two things. Like they will test for nutrition fact panel, run the normal like heavy metals testing, things like that. But they also do a longer tail of rarer tests like phthalates, PFAS, glyphosates, pesticides, things like that. And then once they run these tests, they actually expose it and push the most recent versions of a brand's lab test to both their website, or if you're sold mostly in retail, the goal is to get like a QR code that a consumer can scan. And
so the funny part about this is my significant other has an actual scanning, has a whole app. So we're at the grocery store, he will scan things and go, look, it's bad. Look at all the stuff in it. And I look over him, I'm like, where'd you find that app at? And so it's interesting who they market to and who picks up the apps, but literally he'll scan food, drinks, protein drinks, bars, candy, snacks. He'll be like, this is terrible, put this back. And this is a new trend. I'm like, when I meet people like him who's got it, man, it's gonna be crazy. It's like when his demographic wouldn't even think about it, right? But he has the app and he's scanning, and it's like, see, this is where it's going, right? You have to almost say, if a mother or father comes to the hospital with their kid and their kid is sick, and it's based off food, they almost have to say, we just don't know. We don't know no better. We didn't scan the food. We didn't check the food. We just put processed crap in front of our kids. We don't know. That's what they would have to tell you. Most families are not going to tell you this because the apps are out there. The apps are out there. The stuff is out there. There's nothing but money to be made. But what I do realize is for something to be mass, like for the masses to take on something, that's when you're like, oh crap, right? But all this stuff I tell you, I was like 5 years in the future. 2030, everybody's gonna be on the app tomorrow. Oh, I scanned this food. It ain't no good. Don't eat that, right? Because these organizations keep changing the name of the red and yellow dyes. Do you know what I'm saying? And so you don't even know. You're like, wait a minute. You scan it, the app done told you, oh, that's red dye. But people have to want to care what goes in their body. And we've already talked about this channel. Most people are in zombie mode. And that's okay. Most people are in zombie mode. That's okay. So I'm going to skip ahead. Y'all can go watch this on your own. Essentially, Function and Superpower is another
Explain
one.
what those are.
yeah, so Function Health and Superpower, they're basically companies where you can go to their website, sign up, pay an annual membership fee, and they'll facilitate a telemedicine thing where they'll be like, hey, you can go get your blood drawn at, a lab or have someone come to you, and you can test your own blood for I think it's over 190 markers. So you can get things like PFAS exposure, heavy metals, testosterone, insulin markers, all these sorts of things that to just know, are you healthy?
I'm going to skip some of this for y'all. Sorry. I'm trying to shorten the video size. So what people do is they'll go to the doctor and say, I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling sluggish. Could it be my thyroid? Could it be this? The doctor goes, no, I don't think so. You ask, can you schedule some blood work tests? They give you a blood work test, but it's a general panel and you don't get all the stuff you need. So they're making money off of how our medical system, the doctors are like, yeah, you're a young person under 40. Just go work out and exercise and eat better. That's literally what they'll keep telling anybody. They tell women all the time, oh, you probably just have anxiety. The countless stories of women saying, I had cancer and they told me I had anxiety. I had stomach cancer. I had a friend who for 30 days, something was real bad with her stomach and the doctors kept sending her home, sending her with, oh, just take this laxative or take that. The girl had cancer, y'all. In the end, they had to bring her back in the hospital at the end of the 30 days, cut her stomach, cut her other lady parts, cut a bunch of stuff. Like she thought she was going to die. And she is a white woman going to a hospital asking for help on a repeated basis. And they're just like, oh, just take this laxative. Your stomach's probably just upset. Nobody in a 30-day window thought we should order this lady a whole body scan. We should probably test her blood. We should probably see what's going on. Couldn't find out she got a giant cancerous lump in her intestines. Because the first thing the doctor said is, well, her age, she was so young. I didn't think to look for that. So I'm not here to knock doctors. That's not by any means what I'm doing with this show or this channel. But I want y'all to question some of the stuff y'all are hearing. some of these doctors, what they studied 30 years ago, they see, on average, 80% of the same stuff all the time, right? Kids, some antibiotics, broken arm or two. They're going to see the same stuff all the time for a majority of people. So if you have a unique case or something's off about you, if they don't know, they ain't going to say, well, baby, I don't know. They're not going to tell you, baby, I don't know. They're going to say, baby, like, well, we done gave you the best care, go home. Or we done did whatever. My mom was at Walter Reed and her head was, it's about to explode on her. She's sitting there and the nurses are telling her, just go home. Come back tomorrow for your appointment on Monday. It just happened. A Haitian nurse said, I see this woman all the time. She's always smiling. Starts talking to my mom and goes, I'm going to go run your labs up to a doctor. These nurses up here are lazy. And my mom couldn't drive anyway because her brain aneurysm was about to burst. So if she'd have went home, she'd have died. So she runs the lab up. A doctor sees her. He's like, no, immediately. As she comes, he had 4 surgeries scheduled that day. He was working on a baby with 2 aneurysms. That's crazy. He literally said, bring her in. She's the next surgery right now. It's leaking. So I'm not talking bad on medical staff. I'm just all my experiences my whole life with any type of medical, even when you're supposed to be at a place that's doing the best they can. Doctors and nurses are so used to the 80% of stuff they always see. They don't go, let me pause. Let me ask an extra question. Let me schedule another test for you. Let me check on you. Maybe you need this. Maybe you don't. They don't, because they're tired. And I get it. They're busy. Anybody that works in the hospital can tell you they're exhausted when they come home. You're dealing with people. And so in general, people think people are making it up. Maybe they got anxiety. Maybe something's wrong with them. You have to fight for your health care in any country, right? These people are going to try to tell you they go overseas and they go to, literally people in Canada are making videos and getting pretty much getting in trouble, saying that they had a doctor's appointment for a brain tumor. It's a year out in Canada because it's free healthcare. So the girl literally is like, I'm driving across the border to go to Detroit to go get my head scanned. So people are telling you about all this free healthcare everywhere else. It's like, get out of here. It's not. They don't do nothing special. They're doing very basic healthcare over there on those people. So, get out of here, man. Facts. I had 5 gallstones before they even scanned or did work on me. They asked me, was I under stress? Yeah, they always want to write down you're suffering from depression or anxiety. You're making it up. And there's several Black doctors online telling you 5 questions you should ask, like, what made you rule out everything else? Right? But you got to think, now I'm sick. I don't feel well. Now I got to go play doctor with a doctor. I got to sit here and go, well, what made you rule that out? What if I could be having a heart attack? What made you rule that out? What test did you do? What ideals did you do? And you're lucky the doctor don't write you crazy on there, hold you for a psych eval. You know what I'm saying? Like it's real crazy out here. So that's where these financial trends are going to come from. Here's the next one. The next one is doctor for your home.
Your home can basically be a source of disease. Like lighting can be bad. EMFs, are controversial, but like I think definitely have some health impact.
Wait, what's that?
EMS, electromagnetic frequencies, basically like your cell phone, your Wi-Fi router, like all of these sort of things that we're surrounded by all the time. Water toxicity, like off-gassing things called volatile organic compounds, basically like the when you walk into a building that's newly painted or something like that, you can smell it, dude. It's like a thing that.
So he's got a thing called is your home healthy? Now I've told y'all about this for about 6 months now, where I keep telling y'all they're gonna all these mold testing doctor. So you have home inspectors, home appraisers, and you have guys who are specialists in different things. So they have mold sniffing dogs now, right? And they have guys who show you where air's coming in your house with these little different apps, right? So what's gonna happen is they're gonna say, did you these insurance companies, I'm just telling y'all how I learned in this training. Insurance companies are gonna come and say, if you thought mold was in your house, why didn't you hire this specialist and tell us that you hired the specialist? I'm just telling y'all the training I received at the conference. The insurance companies are going to start coming back and saying, well, did you update your house? Have you updated your kitchen? Have you updated the roof? Did you update the installation? Did you get a person to come by the house and check this out? Now you're just filing a claim with the insurance company because you've been paying for years, but they've already decided over the next 5 years, they're going to ask you, did you get anything updated? Did you get mold testing? Who did your mold testing? Don't just tell me you used the kit from Home Depot. Did you get a mold testing dog in here? Oh, where's the receipts for that? Where's the documentation for that? Okay, where did the water come from? Did you try to fix it immediately? Maybe the insurance company's already on this. That's why I just want to tell y'all, like, these are trends he's talking about, but I already know it because I've been in actual conferences where they already told you what the insurance company's going to do in the next 5 years. Did you get your roof changed? Like in Texas, I don't know if y'all seen our roofs. The sun will beat the mess out of these roofs. You'll drive by somebody's house like, oh, they need to replace their roof. Now, the insurance company going to say, well, is it sun damage? Is it hail damage? Why does the roof need to be replaced? Where's the issue? Y'all gonna have to be ahead. Y'all gonna have to y'all gonna have to be your own fighter. And we're going towards a society where people don't want to fight for anything. They want to just get online and cry. That's not fair. Y'all gonna figure it out. Let me finish this last one.
People are aware of, want to fix, but don't know where to get started. This is actually why I think that a like functional medicine or like trainer that makes your house healthy is a very interesting idea. I actually invested in a company called Lightwork. It's dolightwork.com, but they're basically doing this where they can send someone to your house and do a test around, what are the things that are potentially causing disease or stress or other sorts of things in your home. And it's like shocking what they have found. Like they tested a billionaire's home recently, and across like all sorts of things like air quality, water quality, VOCs, EMF exposure, all of this, it rated very, very badly. Like people are not looking at the home through the lens of health and chronic disease. And when you start to, there's like a ton of changes that you want to make. Many of those are which are, confusing or, people don't.
I'll just put you this way. I lived at a place and that's why I moved. It's not, we're not done moving it. They put 2 internet panels against the building on my side. And they put one for AT&T and one was Google Fiber. Immediately, y'all, every day I woke up for 2 weeks with nosebleeds and a headache. And they're like, oh, you're probably just dehydrated. My doctor's like, you're probably just dehydrated. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Y'all, when I would sit on that side of the place, my cell phone wouldn't work because of 2 different internet boxes interacting with each other. I call the specialist here in Austin. Okay, this is what's happening to me. This is what I think is happening with the internet. I'm right by these 2 boxes. They're like, immediately move. Immediately get to the other end of your bed. Go to another room. Get out of there. Get out of there. You're in a zone of something here. You need to get out of there. And if you tell the company where you're living, hey, this is bad. You shouldn't have these 2 boxes against this one building on this side like this. When Google Fiber's already put millions of dollars in cable up and down the wall, they ain't gonna do nothing for you. They don't care. I'm just telling you, like immediately. You know what I'm saying? Just immediately. Headaches, nosebleeds for 2 weeks. Phone didn't work in that corner. Laptop wouldn't work in that corner. I'm like, what is happening in this house? So long and the story short, I'm not trying to be like scare y'all or anything like that, but I just always tell y'all like the whole feng shui thing is cool. Having plants in your house is cool, but you actually need to test your house for different things. And I'm gonna leave that where that is. I don't want to get too deep in that till we finish this whole move and I get my paycheck. I get my check from these people. So again, skin gut health is another one.
Skin gut health. What is that? And whenever someone says gut health, it freaks me out because what's it called? Leaky gut is the world's greatest branding.
Yeah. So this is actually a cosmetics company that I've wanted to invest in for so long. I haven't seen anyone do it. If you're doing this, like, please just email me. My email is very easy to find, or ping me on Twitter. But the thing that I think should happen is like there's, I don't know how many hundreds of billions a year are spent on the skincare kind of space. And if you look at research, there are certain things that work. Like certainly there's classes of peptides and things like that I think maybe work decently well from a skincare standpoint. But for most people, if you're buying any sort of skincare to look younger or whatever, it's just like a waste of money, or it's like marginally effective.
So say that again. So your stance here is that skincare is mostly a waste.
Skincare is mostly a scam. Yeah. Yeah. Minus like a couple things, like certain peptides, sunscreen, moisturizer. Sure, if you want your skin to be like more moist, but a lot of the anti-aging stuff, anti-wrinkle cream, all these sorts of things.
Is there one that starts with an R?
Well, retinol A is one of the few things that's actually that's actually relatively effective. It's like but this is the thing. It's like basically only peptides are the things that work. Anything
that's
else,
a peptide.
Yeah, so it's a peptide. Things like OneSkin uses a peptide. There's something called like copper. It's copper GKU, I think, which is another peptide. These things seem to actually work, as well as some compounds like methylene blue and whatnot. But other compound, like any sort of random $50 thing that you're going to buy on Amazon.
I'm telling y'all, Dave did a conversation about peptides last year. You're going to see a lot of conversation about peptide and colostrum. You're going to see this stuff. I tell y'all in advance. I did a video about 4 e-com trends. If y'all go back and look, I'll put it on the community wall. I'm telling y'all, like literally, it's going to come down to what fruits and veggies and the quality of meat you're eating versus your genetics, right? Because you'll see black people on there like, oh, he's on steroids. And I'm like, no, that black dude is a black dude that's fit. That's all. Like, some stuff you can see, some stuff you can't. But I just want y'all to understand, like a lot of this stuff, is going to come down to, you can test it, you can see it. There's going to be room in the marketplace for y'all to make products. Why? Because every couple of years, it's funny that he says that exactly. Every couple of years, y'all sell all your stuff to these bigger companies and they quit making the product to be effective. Like they make it to save money. And so if you want to make money in that space, hair care products, internal gut stuff, leaky gut, such a marketing phrase it is at this point. But all that stuff, you still have people who are 5 years behind. It is. And like when I hear women talk about their hair can't grow, and I'm like, baby, are you drinking enough water? Are you moisturizing your scalp? Like I'll ask, about fruits and veggies and all this other stuff, and they look at you crazy. And it's like, all right, well, cool. You know what I mean? I'm even though we have a lot of fruit and veggies in our country that have lowered nutrients, it's still important. And again, natural fiber clothing, you're going to see a lot of this.
Here's one for some of these health trends. I think that polyester clothing is gonna there's gonna be I mean, there's already a niche of people. I'm one of them where I don't wear, if a clothing has polyester, I tried always to avoid it unless it's like, like special or particularly amazing, but in general, it's got to be all natural fibers. Are you on board with that?
Oh yeah. I mean, polyester clothing is like the #1 contributor to microplastics. Basically, they like shed like crazy when you're washing them. And there's some studies that have been done around, they basically took dogs and had them wear polyester underwear, and their sperm count went down like 60 or 70%. And then they switched them off of polyester underwear, and like it came right back up.
No,
so it's like,
shit. No way. So what underwear do you wear? Do you wear underwear?
So there's a company called Nads that does like organic stuff. There's another company called Pact, PACT, and I usually wear those.
How interesting is women's? I mean, I don't know. Does this matter to women?
So it's unclear to me right now. I would say potentially, but it seems like the thing that is causing the loss of sperm is like there's some sort of electrical charge thing that happens.
Immediately, I'm mad at him not knowing that women studies. This is when you're a man. When you're a man, you don't care about what's going on with women. It just is what it is. Less is a money thing. Women have been adversely affected by polyester. Smells, body, like you can go Google this for your own time. I ain't gonna do this, but you can do it your own self. And I'm telling you, this is a big thing. This is a big thing. These are trends that are stuff y'all gonna see over the next 5 years. I know I may seem like a beating a dead horse, but like this year is kind of our leap year. We're doing like a leapfrog year. The Bible say don't mix them fabrics. Don't mix them fibers, okay? And what we're doing this year is like, I have, like I'm taking fast is smooth, fast is slow, and slow is smooth. Taking the gun approach where we're just literally like, we are shutting down certain parts of stuff and then like putting money into other stuff. And you'll see it. You'll see it this year. If you're in our circle, you'll see it. If you're some of the snippets of video we'll put out, you guys will see it. You guys will see it because I'm telling you, it's just 1 or 2 piece moves we're moving and it'll change the whole money for us. Like it'll 10x, if not, 20x our money as far as housing, construction, and e-commerce. So we had to make a few changes, but that's the new house, all the other stuff. And I'm telling you, like, the people you sit in some of these rooms, you're like, oh man, they're making all this money, they're making all this, and it's just systems. It's just systems and a combination of marketing. Exactly. If I could tell so many Black women, take them tights off, sister, take them off. It's messing up your body. That's why everybody got a Hank Hill booty all of a sudden. It's messing up your body. But yeah.
Happens between polyester and the skin that seems to impact like, you know, sperm generation. And so it's not clear to me yet. I haven't like gone super deep on it.
How fascinating. So
yeah, pretty wild though, right?
Yeah.
But you guys go watch all this on your own time. I didn't want to spend this long on this video. But long story short, you know, again, if you're in our Delivery Warriors, we're talking about creating courses, promoting products. I'm also going to take a kind of more topics on the, you know, don't worry about Instagram as well. Just kind of worry about focusing on running the ads, because real life business still makes real life money, right? There's a channel I put up on the community wall, and like, again, real life money still makes real life money. So y'all can check this guy out if you ever get a chance. And yes, he's overseas. Name is not that one. This one. Hold on, sorry. This is Asheville. You can go check him out. He's British, Black man, owns this
daily
yard.
basis, running the 3 Asheville companies. For those of you
3 companies, you don't run anything by yourself. YouTube just helped kick it up another notch. There's several people we'll be kind of interviewing with. I did 7 interviews the past couple of days. I'm exhausted, and hopefully they'll give me the schedule when some of this stuff posts. I'll share it when it comes here. Some people don't like it when you record while they're recording because you want to share it to your page. But I remember Greg Cardone saying, I don't care what you like. And Greg Cardone makes sure he records his video while you record a video of him, so he can use the content later. And there's some real people out here doing big things, and they have small channels. There's a Chinese guy. I'm trying to get him on an interview. He has 1,000 acres he ended up wholesaling, and it's just subdividing and making money off of. I'll see if I can get him on the channel. We're just doing a nice, beautiful pivot this year, and it's fun. I'm excited. But yeah, there's some heavy hitters out here, and also this guy right here. This company, every couple of years in Black healthcare, we get real excited about new people. But this guy been doing it. I'm one of their affiliates, so I'm not even on front of y'all. This is Netter Gold. He used to have the commercials during the pandemic. Why are you so ashy? And they just updated their website. They got a warehouse. I mean, you know, every couple of years we talk about companies selling out. They haven't sold out. I just, you know, strongly suggest, you know, you may see me marketing more of their stuff, affiliate links and whatnot. But yeah, you know, his wife is nice and beautiful lady. But again, you want to have all that data in-house. You want to have your people's emails. You want to have their address. You want to send them cards. You want to send them stuff. You want to say, hey, haven't heard from you in a while. Here you go. 50% off, 20%, whatever. You just got to find ways to connect with your customers. And you could make 4 or 5 million every year too, if it was up to you. So that's all, you know, Netter Gold. I'm telling you. Hope you guys enjoyed. This. Thank you, Jay Charles. I appreciate it. For sure. Yeah. Vic the Kid. This is very accurate. One of the other brands I would ever go into would be like health, but I would put people up as the face because I just know how people are. But yeah. So yeah, they're good. Love them. But that was our show for y'all today. Sorry, it's a 2-hour show. It's very long. We just haven't been on in a minute, but we'll try to knock down back to a regular 1-hour schedule. Thank you guys so much for being on the channel. Definitely hit the like button if you enjoyed the commentary. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And listen, book coming out, land grab course. You guys are gonna be able to grab it. You're gonna be able to see all this stuff. Super excited, super pumped up for the rest of the month of April. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be wow, and it's gonna be good. Later, you guys.
This is David W. Williams, and I'm giving a testimony to Erica Williams and her team. Because of the advertising relationship that we were able to develop, My company had the best month in the month of November for the whole year of 2024. And I'm talking about our sales were 3 or 4 times any other month during that particular year. And I know it's because of the relationship that I had with Erica and how she worked with me as an advertising partner. So now here's the benefit of working with her and her team. She's going to communicate to you what you're going to get as a result of working with her. She's going to over deliver on her value that she's providing, right? And she's not going to do a one-off deal. She's going to really invest in your success because she's really invested in making sure that you're going to get a success story from working with her as an advertising partner. So if you're looking to drive more sales, you're looking to bring in more leads, and you're also looking to get more exposure to what you're doing, you want to reach out to Erica and ask her, can I advertise with you?